Morning, everybody. Here I am today. So, Major Alpha Strategies. What is Major Alpha Strategies? Well, first of all, my name is Major Dream, and I will be your guide through this Alpha Strategies playbook. All right, so what is Alpha Strategies? Well, at the end of the day, it's my attempt at making you more proficient in the Web3 space. So that includes NFTs, blockchain, cryptocurrency. But more importantly, it's about your mindset, okay? Because that's really how these projects win. You know, the biggest thing is creating and keeping the proper mindset so that way we can, or you can for that matter, be a more proficient player in this NFT space. It allows you to future-proof yourself. What does future-proof mean? That means that you're not preparing yourself for a job now or in the next 5 years or so, but you are preparing yourself now for a job that will be around for the next 300 years, right? So when you say that, it's not like you're going to be alive for 300 years. I hope so, but maybe not. However, your progeny, your family, your legacy, this is where we take a stand to build legacy, all right? There has been tons of opportunities historically that we've been kept out of, especially over these last 450 years, okay? So this is my humble attempt at giving y'all what y'all need to know. See, I've been in the digital currency space, blockchain, since about 2013, all right? Randomly, and I've always known about it, but I've never necessarily felt I needed it because I didn't really fully grasp the power of it. At that point, Bitcoin, you were either fully cyber or fully dark web. None of those things I was in. So I didn't really activate my opportunity until, jokingly, I told the guy, hey, fuck it, pay me in Bitcoin. And he did. And that was how I got into the mix. So you folks out there that are claiming, oh my gosh, I wish I would have got into it then or now or what? How do I get into it? All you have to do is provide a service and provide Bitcoin payment as an option. That's the easiest way to get into the space. At least that's the way I got into the space. And then once you're in it, you continue down the rabbit hole. And then hopefully you end up in a nice group of forward thinkers who are able to give you access to not just technology, but framework. How to think of framework. How to think of this tool. This isn't the all end all be all. It's just a tool to position you to be the most, I guess I would say, to be the most, to be the better version of yourself, to be the most influential in your family line. You know, because if you are probably doing it, you're probably one out of very few that are doing it in your family. So you even taking this course, or you even listening to my voice, is you taking a stance to be unique, different. Because I've been yelling and screaming about this to my family for the last 8 years, 7, 8 years, and ask how many people are in it. Well, maybe it's because I don't show them enough profit, money, or so. But that's not really why we're here, folks. Why we're here is so that you can be relevant. This is not a trading course. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. No, not at all. This is about framework. And this is how we are going to get you off of the block and into the blockchain. Because at the end of the day, when we look around right now, you see what's going on. The enemy is going hard at us, super duper hard. They're buck breaking us in public. They're taking down our idols. People are getting killed senselessly. More of the truth is coming out. You're watching people sell their souls for their riches. And they're giving us such crap. And we're listening to it. Sometimes you have to be outside of the system to be able to affect the system. Because if you're in the system and trying to affect it, they have too much control over you. Control over your family, over your finances, over your thought process, over your audience. This is why we're in the Web3 space. Because Web 1 is straight getting it from the government. Indoctrination. Full-on indoctrination. Bang, 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 bang. Matrix style. Blue pill. Web 2, okay. Now you're giving us a little bit chance to interact. We can like, we can share, we can comment. You as the ultimate sayer of your life, especially when you're getting an article that you don't like, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing it. And you're feeling, oh, okay, I can have my Etsy store. I can sell stuff. I can put a website up. I can show where my company is, where my corporation is. This is our opening hours. This is our closing hours. Please share a like. Please subscribe. All of that is Web 2. Or in some cases, Web 2.5. Or in some cases, Web 1.5. But it's all that version of read and then write. That's it. Read, write, give. Like, sacrifice your ideas. Here's my IP. Please take this data. Please. Because you're wondering, how does the internet make money? The internet makes money off of you. That's how it is. Oh, just by putting in my credit card? Yeah, that's one way. But that right there is money made for the business that you choose to interact with, like a merchant. The internet makes money because of your data. And that's why Web3 is so important. You see how many of these big companies are now consolidating with smaller companies that get more of your data. And then they just amalgamate and bring everything together, and then they sell it to who needs to target you. Now, when we see that, and then we see the wealth and the riches that happen because of it, here comes Web 3. This is the own part. The read, write, and now you own. You own your data. That's why this is important. Because you need to realize the strategies. Like, what is data? What is metadata? What are these things? That's what you're getting in the I was going to say alpha strategies, but major alpha strategies. This is what you're going to get. The playbook on how to maximize this own option. Because a lot of you have never been owners. Never. At all. You don't own the apartment that you grew up in. You don't own the block that you're fighting for. You don't even own your woman that is checking out the next dude because she's all in that, what they call that, hypertrophy, like, no, hypertrophy, that's like weightlifting. One where they want to level up. Like, you don't even own that. So why not own your intellectual property? Why not own your data? That's the only thing that you have right now because of the last 400 years, 450 years, and your laziness. Let's add that in as well. Because I can tell you this, Jamaicans, island people that come here, different kind of vibe. People born here, they have a certain level of comfort, certain level of victimhood, and it makes them blind to the next opportunities. That's what this is all about. Showing you that the opportunity is now. I'm giving y'all 3 years of me. 3 years of me educating. 3 years of me getting on stages. 3 years of me trying to wake you up. Because this is real. This is warfare. And I need all of you prepared and ready to secure your home. Secure the bag. The real bag is you as the creator. That's what it is. If you didn't know that before, I'm telling you now. I always give a couple of analogies, and this is why I get to talk about this, because I bring forth these type of analogous situations that make it make sense. So I look at growing up, or at least growing up stateside, and what the system is looking to extract from us. They're looking to extract our screams, our energy, our creative energy. When I say our screams, I say it's like, remember Monsters, Inc.? You know, remember that cartoon, that movie? What it showed was that the monsters would come out of the closet or under the bed, get the kids, and the kids would just scream. Ah! And then it would capture the scream, because the scream is the energy. The scream is the energy that they need to keep their industry going, their company going. That's what they need. That is the data, right? How does that relate to us? We live in the ghetto. We grew up in the ghetto. These things are scientifically proven, right? As a thing. In Nazi Germany, guess who else lived in the ghettos? The Jews. They forced them into the ghettos. But it was a scientific experiment, because before they put the Jews in the ghettos, they put animals in ghettos and socially engineered and allowed them to just rip each other apart after a while. They put the Jews in the ghettos. Similar. Then they try to exterminate them. And don't get it twisted. It wasn't just all white Jews. Many of my African brothers and sisters who are also Hebrew, Jewish, also were exterminated as well. And they were all put in ghettos. Now, the United States, which, look guys, all that I'm saying here is, if we don't mint culture, we are going to forget the history. Because all what I'm saying is historical fact. All right? Many of the companies that you know now are the remnants of the Nazi Party in Germany. Because you have to understand, they were really smart. They were really determined. They were really focused. And they practiced some interesting rituals. But nonetheless, a lot of those wartime profiteers, companies, and so forth. Because now, look how many companies are involved in war now. And they're still around. So this idea of the ghetto was taken from Germany, brought to the United States. Now it's time for us to get pushed into the ghetto. And you wonder why we end up being so aggressive, so untrusting. We don't have the initial understanding of money. We don't have the initial understanding of emotional intelligence. We don't have the initial understanding of conflict resolution. We don't even know how to eat. We don't even know. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily your fault because it is what it is. But I believe simply that once you know better, you have to do better. Hence, major alpha strategies. Why alpha strategies? Well, alpha is something that we in the crypto space always seek. Alpha is knowledge. Sometimes a type of knowledge that others don't get. Really unique knowledge that gives us alpha. That gives us a step up, an unfair advantage. That's why I'm talking to you. Because I have an unfair advantage. One, I'm Jamaican. Two, my father died when I was 5 years old. He was only 24. By the time he died, he had already brought up over 100 people for his organization, which ended up being kind of my family. So imagine the type of help, resources, or just the ability and belief in myself that I have. That right there for me is the unfair advantage, because I've seen the benefits of being in an organization like that. So I saw the highest heights. So I have a vision. I have a framework. This is what this is here to give you. For you who didn't necessarily have all of the framework to see yourself relevant in this space. I'm here to tell you that there's a lot about me that is special, but there's a lot about me that's just like you. Man, woman, child. Black, white. None of this matters. The mindset is what I'm talking about. So the alpha strategies are really just, as they say, strategies are the what, right? And the what right now is what we need to do to secure the bag. And that is gain a level of overstanding and understanding and stop understanding what this is really about. This is the quiet revolution. This is the bloodless revolution that you need to take advantage of. There are too many of us running around out there continuously on the block, trying to do block stuff with a block mentality. I'm trying to get your mentality and your framework into the blockchain. So from the block to blockchain, that's a big arc. But you can short circuit. I mean, right? You can find a more direct track. More than me. I had to figure out a whole bunch of things to get here. I had to figure out a whole bunch of things, try a whole bunch of things, lose a whole bunch of money. If my family understood how much money I've actually spent in my life just to be able to get to this point, they probably kick me out of the family. But I realized this much. You have 3 jobs. And write this down. You have 3 jobs in life. Be happy. Don't hurt anyone. And move the culture forward. What are you doing to move the culture forward? This is what I'm doing. I'm learning about new technologies. I've mastered a lot of technologies. I've gotten really proficient at other ones. But what I really did was create a network of amazing, forward thinkers, world beaters that really just want to give back. And they deal with me in a way that's not like many others, because I'm not there to ask for anything from them. First thing, you know, like, because that's how the system wants to get you in. Don't take anything from anyone. We are hustlers. We'll figure out a way. Give me a seed, I'll turn that whole shit into a fucking farm. That's the mindset that you have in this Web3 space. So we're going to talk about Web3, NFTs, crypto. Okay? Those first things right there. More importantly, blockchain. Okay? And let's get some other things in here. All the good things. And metaverse. All right. Those are the 4 things that really are 5 things, yeah. Web3, NFTs, crypto, the metaverse, and blockchain. Those are the things that you're going to understand after you go through this Major Alpha Strategies playbook, the course. I'm doing webinars all next year, 1 a week, where we break down my Alpha Strategies book. You can buy the book currently on Kindle. You can download it as an ebook. What it is, it's the first 60% of the book. Okay? So you get the book, but it really just covers 60% of the course. The other 40% of the course we'll go over in the webinars. Simple. That way, I'm not just giving it to you, but I'm helping guide you through. And I'll keep you up to date based off what's going on. Do you realize that they've already spent billions of dollars in a metaverse land? There's only 30,000 wallets in the metaverse, so there's not many people there. But people are preparing for it. They're preparing for this. Big time, big time, big time. They're preparing for the metaverse. And it's one of those things where you're like, wowzers and wowzers. I love it. I personally love it because it's just so super interesting, because it's all about the different test cases and use cases. And the reason why I know that we will strive and we will be, the big dogs, is because our creativity is the stuff that runs this world. You know what I'm saying? It's like the people that eat up what we put down, they love it now. So it's far beyond the people that are controlling the industry, so to speak, right? And if we don't realize that they're controlling the industry off of our data, off of our screens, off of our pain. Now, my thing is this: screens, data, and pain, those things are what comes from the ghetto. That is the scientific method that was created and that was extracted. The data that was extracted says, this is what we get. Let's not teach them about money. Let's not teach them about health. Let's not teach them about agriculture. Fuck it. Let's not even teach them about their own history. Let's not teach them where they come from. Look, y'all, I, unlike most, know my history. I know where I come from. And I'm searching more. Right now, times are really, really interesting. You have so many people battling ideas. You have so many conflicting ideas. You have so many people that are saying, hey, guess what? I'm tired of just listening to y'all. I'm different. And I know that I am. I'm not going to let y'all tell me anything about who I am anymore. Yeah. Why would I? Why? I'm not gonna let y'all tell me anything that just doesn't make any sense, because I'm not gonna let y'all just tell me anything. You know, so yeah. All right, from the block to blockchain. That's what this is all about. Because at the end of the day, the ones who really got the balls to step up are the ones who don't have. The ones who realize our back is to the wall. So I am devising and developing a beautiful game plan for us. But first, I need to give y'all the framework to get you off of the block and into blockchain. Because we don't want our efforts lost. We want us to track ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. See, the problem is there's been so much distrust with the idea of being tracked, followed. If you're doing it yourself, then you also own your data. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the data, it's the movements, it's the time that I get up at 6 a.m. How many times a week does he get up at 6 a.m.? How many times a week does he work out? How many times does a week? You know, all of these things are data points, metadata. Now, that's one set of stuff. That's just you as a being. Then what about your bio data? What about your health data? What about your love language, your love data? You know how many relationships would work out better if people just knew their love language? Those are data sets. And what happens when you don't know your love language? Divorce. What happens with divorce? Families are broken up. Do you understand like how it's really important for you to master your square, and not just emotionally? This is emotional intelligence. That's what this is really about. Because then you end up taking it into the crypto space. You end up building better. You end up creating projects. You end up creating projects that help rather than hurt. You end up creating projects that aren't about your ego, but about solving problems. You end up looking to give value because you look at yourself as valuable. You can only take care of what you know. And if you don't know, how can you take care? So if you don't know yourself, how can you take care of yourself? If you don't see the beauty in yourself, you can't see the beauty in others. If you don't have the framework to get off of the block, you will always stay on the block. Not just in the future, but that mentality, that ghetto mentality. Crabs in a barrel? Ever heard of that saying? That's because you don't think that you win when your people win. Yeah, so there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of demystifying. There's a lot of untangling that we need to do for this. But in the meantime, you're going to learn something cool. You're going to learn about NFTs. You're going to learn what is Ethereum. You're going to learn what is MetaMask. You're going to learn what does it mean to have a multi-sig wallet. You're going to learn what it means to have your own private keys. You're going to learn how to store and save your private keys. You're going to learn many different platforms to be able to use. What does a curated platform look like versus a permissionless platform, and the difference between the two, because there's a lot of competing projects out there. Now we, insiders, we know the difference. And we build. See, I'm more of a builder, you know, than a trader, than an NFT trader and stuff and whatnot. Like, I have dope friends that I'll be bringing in to teach these courses for you. What I am is just your leader on this crazy journey. Your reluctant leader at that. I told you, you only got 3 years of me. But the thing is, we're gonna crack the whip, and we're gonna make stuff happen, right? So I said we're gonna do weekly webinars, right? So you get to see me weekly with all new stuff, but all focusing on the playbook. So you'll have the playbook, you'll get downloads, you'll get interesting weekly updates, and then we'll break these things down during the next week. And we'll all give new info. And then every week, I will put all of my information in a suppository. Wait, isn't a suppository? Isn't that what goes up your butt? Either which way. Either which way. I'm gonna put it in a safe place so that way you can always refer to it and get access to it, because this thing is moving fast. My job isn't necessarily to go over the same thing again and again and again. That's why I put it down on paper. That's why I put it down on paper. Excuse me, sorry. That's why I put it down on paper, so that way you can get the best out of it. Like, I have some amazing friends who have done super dope content. Because it's so nebulous, this idea of Web3, the metaverse, you know, it's not any type of linear schooling type of session. Hold up, what's this? What's going on there? Hold on. Hello? Hello? I'm good. I'm in the middle of filming. So I thought this was probably somebody wanting to get into the studio. But I'm going to have to go now. Thank you very much. You take care of yourself. Okay, where was I? What I was saying is that all of the webinars are going to be stored, put over in data in the side. There'll be tests along with it, just so everyone can stay up to speed. And I will be giving you all airdrops and tokens and NFTs and SBTs, just to keep you incentivized and tag on to those who get it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, my goal is to have 100,000 people all go through this course and feel proficient enough to then go out and mint culture. Okay? Mint culture. That's really the deal. We are here to mint culture. Why? You may have heard me say this again and again. Idea of minting culture, all right? Mint. Mint culture. Why do we mint culture? Because, look, y'all, I'm not trying to make this political or anything, but if we don't control our own history, if we don't control our own culture, we will be confused for the rest of our lives. Okay? You will be confused for the rest of your life. Because there's so much out there right now that's confusing people. You know, you got the powers, and the system operates in such a way that if you're out there speaking truth to power, there's already people out there, agents, ops, that are out there to stifle you. And guess what? They look like me and you. Come on, man. Like, they don't even understand that they're blue pill. They don't even understand that they're still asleep. And some of them are in your family. So yeah, even us sitting here having this conversation, or if you're listening to my voice right now, this is the stance. This is the stand that you have to take. You have to take a stance. You can't be on both sides of the track. Can't. You need to take a stance. How are you going to lead your culture forward? How are you going to lead your family forward if you haven't taken a stance? You cannot gain generational wealth by working for anyone. How do you move your culture forward? How do you move your family forward? By getting a 9-to-5? You better have a side hustle. You better partner up with each other and go buy a company. Be the CEO. Like, the beauty about a lot of businesses is that there's a lot of different business models out there. Some business models, people just come in and just buy companies from people and just say, okay, cool, now I'm the CEO. And now let me hire people to run it. Done. Next. Like, that right there is a business that people do. They use debt, credit, they leverage it, they go and buy a company that's doing really well, pay people out, and now they're running a company. Now they hire people and put in place. It doesn't even have to be something that you went to school for. It's just that you have to see the opportunities. But the thing is this, people don't get it. And right now, with this invention or this evolution of the internet, cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, you're able to partake in these type of endeavors without having to go through those classic channels, without having to go through those centralized methods, without having to fraternize and work with the enemy. Who is the enemy, you ask? Anyone, anything, any system that is used to hold you back. So that Butterfinger that keeps you fat, that's the enemy. Happened to be made by the enemy. Wake up, folks. That's what I'm here to do. Help you guys wake up. You know, one thing about being an angel, one thing about being a person of light is everyone wants to be around you. Demons, enemy, ops, supporters, lovers, other angels. It just is what it is. You have to learn and know how to move in a room full of snakes. Extract the information that you need and be able to bring it back to the folks, because each one of them have something to offer. Satan included. They all have something to offer. Framework, perspective. I've lived in Hollywood, I've been in the music business, and I've been in big time crypto. And I've been in a lot of those big families. And I see how a lot of these things work and move. And I'm able to still stand here as a man, having popped in. Okay. Walk around. Everybody's like, okay, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he gonna do? It's just taking the info. Look, I'm not even gonna go down that route too much because I have a whole nother conversation about that. But I'm gonna tell you this, no one is out here for no reason. Like, if you're here, you chose to be here. You chose to inhabit this body. You chose this. And now you're just sitting around trading in your life force for fiat. You're trading in your life force for time. You're trading in your time for money without learning how to generate money or to generate value, to generate wealth. Is that going to be your legacy? Just pushing along? I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. You can mint culture. What is minting culture? Minting culture is the ability to feel present. The ability to feel and be present at any given time. At a point of something significant is happening. So that way you can document it, take a picture of it, put it down, make a song about it or so. Really be able to track your journey in this infinite universal timeline. So that way, those who come after you get to build on what you left them. That is the thing. That's why minting culture is so important, because if you don't, then you get, you know, these ideas of what you are and what you are not. You get random entities that inhabit a lot of these bodies to dupe you to go along with anything. Look, none of what I am saying is condemning. It's just, you have to know where you are. You have to. Doesn't make any sense to do anything less than that. You don't just go to random blocks and act up and don't think something's gonna happen to you. You don't do that. I mean, something's gonna happen to you. Your mama, they may tell your mama, you know? They may, you may get arrested. You may get told not to come back around here again. You respect the block that you go to because you know the rules. Problem is here, we don't know the rules. You don't know the rules. That's why you need alpha strategies, because you don't know the rules. You don't have the framework to think in. All we know right now is we know the penalties. We don't know the rules. They don't want to teach you the rules. They don't want to teach you how to read a contract. They don't want to teach you how to manage money. They don't want to teach you how to grow food. Nah, why am I going to teach y'all that when we're going to do that and feed it to you? How to vote. Like, the president isn't the most important. All the other bits and pieces underneath it, those are the things that run it. Again, for another time, but it's something to be mindful about. How does Web3 change voting? Huh? How does it change you as an actual entity and as an actual real person, a non-bot? All of these type of mindsets, all of these type of thought processes are very important. And it's not necessarily saying that real life isn't important. Heck no. Of course it is. Get your toes in the grass. Love someone. But hey, most of y'all don't even have the soft skills to take that in. And how come there's so many skinny kids out there? I'm like, where's your legs? Where's your ass? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I do come from the giant class. You know what I mean? I come from the warrior class. We're angels. This is what we do. And this is why we are what we are. But at the end of the day, what we are the leaders that you need. Because without us, those who take those chances, those who buck the system, those who go left while everybody goes right, without us, well, without us, it really leaves a room full of followers. Now, the question is, how are you going to lead your generation forward? How are you going to leave your legacy? How are you going to talk to your family? How? Are you going to talk in Web 1, Web 2, Web 0, Blue Pill? Or are you going to wake up, Neo? Because really and truly, this is the Matrix. And yeah, I'm definitely going to have like a reading list, movie list, podcast list, all of these type of things to help create the environment that you need to fulfill what we're trying to do. Because if we don't mint the culture and secure it for ourselves so we can build off of it, we are doomed to repeat this again and again and again and again and again. Why is it the law for you to go to school? Not be educated. Why is it the law for you to go to school? Why is it not the law for you to learn the law? Remember this, anything that they create a whole different language for and then claim that that's what you're going to be defended against or by. But hold up, that's a whole different language. That's not even English. Who puts these words together? Why is this? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Make it plain English. Contracts don't even have to be that long. But it's to confuse you. Confuse us. As a people. Right? So the beauty about Web3 blockchain is that, again, it's immutable. It's transparent. Immutable means the government can't stop it. No one can get in the way. Once you put it out there, it can't be muted. They can't take your voice. They can't. Code, tech, smart contracts, which are not very smart, so we'll be talking about that as well. All of these things we'll be going over in Major Alpha Strategies, the book, as well as the webinar series. And look, don't get it twisted. I will be selling different type of tiers for those who want to cut to the chase, because if you got to wait a year to learn everything, that's one thing. That's cool. And that will be there for you guys. 100%. I have grades of this. There'll be the type of folks who want to pay, you know what I'm saying, the 10 grand, the 15 grand, the 20 grand to just make sure you got my full attention for a year. You know, that's like 2 grand a month. You know, 1,500 a month so that you can get 8 hours with me. So that we can just go down specifically what you need to know. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me making you money. It's about me saving your legacy. So for those out there who really see themselves as being able to do something, especially with the culture, with the bits and pieces of the culture that make sense, I'm here for you. So if you really need that, we'll have live events, about 3 or 4 every year. So this is really like the system. So right now, this conversation is to wake you all up. Go to Kindle. There's a link here. Go to Kindle, get the book. Give me some feedback, because it's a living book. Because I'll be editing and, you know, tightening it up and reissuing it. And for those who buy it, you will always have access to the better version, the more the tighter version, the more updated version, because this is a new industry. It's always going to change. It's forever evolving. So you're gonna want that evergreen content. And the beauty about making books, whether it be in the metaverse or it be in the real world, is that you can put out different editions. But the beauty about the metaverse, I can just drop new pages in. It's like an app update. And that's how we'll be able to interact. We'll talk about philosophy because a lot of this, for me, is really religious. It's really spiritual. It's our ability to be our own version of God, be our gods, which is what we were supposed to be, in his image, and be able to create. Because once you can see it, then you can be it. Self-actualization. So we'll be talking about quantum. We'll talk about self-actualization. We'll just talk about being the better version of yourself. Who do you want to be? Listen, who are you right now? Who are you right now? Is it the best version of yourself? What does that person look like who you're going to be jealous of? Because if you could be jealous of your future self, that's who you should be jealous of, because then you will do what you can to be that person. And that's very possible. But we can go on with this all day, but show me that you're about that life. I'm not even trying to make the barrier to entry too crazy. Not even trying to do that. You know, you got a book, an ebook you could download. It's $5.99. You know, if you want it mailed to you, that book, we'll be printing that out. That'll be $49.99, and we'll have a whole bunch of other goodies that comes with it. But at this rate, it's not even about telling you about monies or anything. I just want you guys to subscribe, share, tell your friends about this, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of people talking to you about this space. And you're free to choose and pick who you want. Totally free. Free to choose. But at the end of the day, you're going to want to be with someone who speaks to you. You're sitting out there, you just sent your son to school, and you're trying to get your life back together. His father's probably not in the house, not around, and you're sitting here looking and thinking and hoping and wishing for the next steps in life. What is that going to be? Well, let it be major alpha strategies. Because this is not a male-dominated game. The creators of the world, come on. That essence of creation, of birth, to give birth to an idea, that's all female. To give that birth, like that is the divine feminine that's in all of us. But you particularly, looking for that next step, looking for that, you're just tired. You don't need much for this. Thanksgiving's coming up. Everybody got a favorite recipe, a favorite way to do turkey, a favorite way to, gravy or whatever. All of that type of stuff is culturally relevant. All of those type of things are ways to create, you know, and add and mint culture. Yeah, I'll give you so many different type of ideas, you know, and options and stuff when we go through this. But I can definitely tell you this much. Me talking in a classroom by myself is great, right? Because I don't have to stop and answer questions. But that doesn't necessarily get me forward. I'm already there. My things are already built. Like, I need to do this to educate y'all how to use these things. But in the same breath, I need to do this to fulfill my destiny. To fulfill my pact with God. Like, I'm here to lead. Been running from it for very, very long. Now you guys get me. And I love it. None of this is a burden. All of this is glory. All of this is divine. And the more I lean into this, the more amazing things happen. So yeah, I'm here for you, but I'm only here for you for 3 years. So when you're seeing this, I hope that you're catching me in the midst of it, and you're not seeing this 5 years from now. But 5 years from now, you're gonna already know who I am, because it'd be like, oh man, he did it. Yeah, that was him. But me and you both know this. Most people need to see to believe. So that's what this is. This isn't about get rich quick. Let's tell you this. This is not about get rich quick. I'll have people for financial advice come in. Not me, even though I do have a background in finance. I was a stockbroker for years. Sold insurance, sold mutual funds, raised money. I've done a lot of things. But this isn't that. What this is the framework of how to think about this, how to leave that Web 2 mindset and get into this Web 3 space. And I tell you this, let's say Web 2.5, because to throw you guys all into Web 3 so quick, I have to, because I don't even know if you're in Web 1, Web 0. I'm just doing my duty. Fulfill our destiny. And do my part to get you off of the block and get you into the blockchain, because at the end of the day, we're dying. We're killing ourselves with food, with guns, with words. And mostly, it's due to lack of education. It's feeling underappreciated. It's feeling that we lack certain things. At the end of the day, folks, you don't lack. You are enough. My job is to show you that you are. So we're going to mint culture. We're going to keep the bag. We're going to grow. And we're going to generate legacy and leave it for our future family and our future kids. Because I don't know what's going to be valuable 300 years from now. So you might as well learn how to secure the data, the information, the ideas. And if you can't do anything with it, at least your great-great-grandnephew could possibly do something with it. So let's think ahead. Let's think like how these wealthy families think. Because your wealth is you. That's not what they have. Remember, they want you. So your wealth is you. Now, download the book. Let's get started. Email me, hit me, follow me on the social medias. Listen to the podcast, the Art Mob Pod. We're going to start where I get out there and I chat a little bit more like this. Join all of me's on social. Tell your friends. Help support this message. Let's push it out there, because at the end of the day, as long as we have each other, none of this other things matter. I'm your boy, Major Dream. Mr. Major Dream Williams, yo. The one and the only. Don't ever let anybody ever tell you anything different. Because you are the bag. You are the culture. Now, let's mint culture and generate legacy.